Yo, what's up? I've got some triple parts for you, and yeah, starting with what I did last night for Halloween, which was just chilling on my own, handing out candies to trick-or-treaters, and treating myself to about 30 milligrams of 2CB with 130 milligrams of MDMA, and a lot of S-ketamine. So, needless to say, had a good time. I was just kind of handing out candy to kids, and I was watching Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, which I was very excited for, but I actually found myself kind of disappointed by. I'm really glad I watched it while tripping, because the psychedelia really accentuated the best parts of it. But the only episodes I really have enjoyed are David Pryor's The Autopsy. And David Pryor directed The Empty Man, which I've talked about. It's like one of my favorite movies to watch while tripping, particularly on shrooms. The movie's a trip in itself. It just is like the trailer just doesn't do it justice, and I think the trailer is the reason why so many people wrote it off as being this, like, adjunct to Slender Man or Bye Bye Man, just, teens doing a Bloody Mary type thing. That's not what it's about at all. It's like a very, very small part of the film, and it explores some very, very deep ideas. And David Pryor, he was assistant cameraman to David Fincher, and it shows. David Fincher did, all these, the best, like, gritty crime films of the last 20 years, like Seven and Gone Girl, Zodiac. Zodiac's probably my personal favorite out of his filmography. He's got a very distinct style, and David Pryor, definitely, you can tell that he takes a lot of cues from his mentor, David Fincher. And I'd say The Autopsy is the best episode, bar none. And his directing is really what brings life to it. The story itself, which was done by Guillermo del Toro, is kind of but like the directing makes it so powerful. Otherwise, I would say the only other episodes I really enjoyed were Pickman's Model, which is a H.P. Lovecraft story, admittedly one I haven't read, but it was quite well done, I thought. I think Crispin Glover was amazing in it. Crispin Glover is he's a very weird fucking guy. He's just very awkward and strange and eccentric, and he lives out of this fucking old Coupe de Ville or something. But he's just perfect for the part. And then I'd say the other episode that I liked was not as much as his other work, but Panos Cosmatos, his installment in this anthology, The Viewing, which had Peter Weller, which was a welcome surprise, the guy who played RoboCop. I more so remember him for playing William Burroughs in Naked Lunch, which he did a terrific job of. But I was actually kind of disappointed by it. It had all the staples of Panos Cosmatos stuff. It had the overexposed lighting, it had this very strange symmetrical architecture, and tons of drug use and melting faces, but I kind of felt like I've seen this before, in Mandy and Over the Black Rainbow, and I'm starting to feel that Panos Cosmatos, who I had, a lot of hope for as a director, I think he's kind of become sort of a one-trick pony, Okay, we get it. You can make faces melt very well. You can do this strange architecture and psychedelic style, this unique atmosphere, but you know, it's like, I felt like I've seen it before in Over the Black Rainbow, or sorry, Beyond the Black Rainbow, and Mandy, which I thought were both great films. Which also have a lot of strange architecture, a lot of crazy drug use, a lot of psychedelic colors that are unnatural and kind of reminiscent of giallo horror, and a lot of melting faces. He always has a melting face, at least one in his movies. But I would say, yeah, the H.P. Lovecraft adaptation of Pickman's Model, which is a story I actually haven't read by him, was quite good. Like Crispin Glover, who is just an eccentric weirdo in real life, like, he just was perfect for that role. I was really excited to see the episode by Jennifer Kent, who did The Babadook, and that was a movie that I thought I would hate, but I was surprised by how much I did enjoy it. And then she did one of my favorite and like most disturbing films that I've seen in a long time, the Mockingbird, I think it is, or the Mockingjay or something like that. You know, look it up, but you know, be warned, there's a lot of rape, infanticide, slavery. Just it's full of humanity at its worst, but it's a great film nonetheless. And yeah, she did The Murmuring, which I frankly found boring. Just boring. And for whatever reason, they had the director of Twilight? Like, why? Do Dreams in the Witch House, which is one of my favorite stories by H.P. Lovecraft. And I thought it was adapted quite well in Masters of Horror. And an eponymous episode, and I thought they did a much more faithful adaptation, because, you know, Dreams in the Witch House, you know, essentially this guy goes into this house and he notices that the spatial dimensions of a corner in his room is just unnatural, and starts to kind of deal with ideas such as quantum physics and stuff like that, which you know, was not really a thing back then. And so I think it's a story that's very much ahead of its time, very hard to convey in film. But the installment in the anthology was just, like, for one, it was so far from the original story, and for two, it just felt like a sort of schlocky Guillermo del Toro ripoff. Like, a lot of his style was used in it, but instead of, like, practical effects, it was just, like, CGI, and, yeah, just didn't really strike me as that great. But yeah, no, otherwise, I mean, I was fucking having a blast watching this stuff on fucking the amount of psychedelia that was just fucking flowing through my brain. And, you know, interestingly enough, one of the groups of trick-or-treaters that showed up were a bunch of bronies. I shit you not. There's a huge brony community in my city. And you know what? I've got nothing against bronies, unless they're, like, truly perverted and, like, zoophiles and, you know, pedophiles and stuff like that. But, yeah, so, yeah, I had a bunch of bronies show up. And so one of them was in, like, this massive fucking like red horse costume, and he couldn't see, so he was like struggling to get up the steps, struggling to get back down. It's pretty funny in itself, but yeah, regardless, I had a blast fucking doing that. Yeah, I got a couple more for you. So some DMT trips. You know, I did some DMT a couple times this morning, and yeah, fucking really blasted off, man. Like, the first time, I just went into fucking crazy DMT land, and was just, yeah, spinning around with all these like vaguely humanoid entities, and there are these projections of like rooms, kind of like various corridors, and it was interesting. They had, like, I don't know if you've ever seen like water with gasoline in it, how it kind of creates this iridescence that light's reflecting off of. It would show me these rooms, and it would then have a splash, kind of, that looked like water seeping through it, but with that iridescence along with black and white kind of lines, and that was very cool. But it was interesting. I got this real feeling of the first time I broke through today, where I felt like a baby in a crib, and they're going, "Oh, look at this, 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 look at this," and yeah, no, it's just like they're just showing me all kinds of cool, neat tricks and transformations, as DMT often does. And then towards the end, the entity I saw that was, I guess, seemingly behind it all, or whatever you want to say, however you want to describe it. It was very different than the entities I've seen otherwise, where it looked kind of like, I don't know if you've seen like Galileo picture of a human being, where, you know, his arms are outstretched and it's kind of got the symmetrical lines running through him. It was like that, but a humanoid shape kind of wiggling around within this spinning sphere. That was very cool. That's very cool. And so immediately I was like, I gotta fucking break through again. And so I did. And I encountered these DMT entities that I haven't encountered before, that had what felt like a very distinctly African, sort of tribal, not just aesthetic to their appearance, but feel like I was in touch with this like African tribe. And yeah, they were, you know, they had multiple different colors going on, and like most of the DMT entities I see, they were very non-corporeal, had, you know, the typical colors I see on DMT, so like red and blue and black, kind of making up their forms. And yeah, they were all kind of looming over me, and sort of God, things are so hard to describe, and like creating this kind of whirlpool-like effects where all these different neat sort of tricks and stuff would come out, and I got this impression that I should hold out my hand, and I did, because I had some limited physical motion, and there, putting my hand was kind of box-like thing, and within the box, like, I went through to other realms where there's more transformation, spinning, whirling, and just, oh, it's so crazy, so cool. And yeah, no, I'm gonna blast off like again after I make this video, without a doubt, because that was fucking, those were some cool experiences for sure. And yeah, so those are my latest reports, anyways. But I also want to say to my viewers in the States, I've gotten a taste for good cigarettes now, and I'm sick and tired of the shitty cigarettes we have here in Canada that are ridiculously overpriced. So if anyone was to pick up a carton of, like, filterless Lucky Strikes, filterless Chesterfields, filterless Camels, filterless Pall Malls for me, and send them to me, I will send you an e-transfer. You have my fucking word. I just want to have some fucking good smoke. So please, 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 calling my friends in the States and your access to good cigarettes, please send them my way. And I like the filterless ones. They're actually better for you than the ones that typically do have filters, oddly enough. And usually I put them in Hunter S. Thompson style charcoal filter tip anyways, so I make my own filter. But yeah, that would be immensely appreciated. Or like American Spirit filterless too. That's also a good one. But yeah, anyways, I'll leave it at that. And yeah, I'm really glad to talk to a lot of you guys. I'm not glad that a lot of you guys are suffering, but I'm glad that you guys have been able to find, like me, a place where you can talk freely about what you're enduring, and we can encourage each other. I think it's a beautiful thing, and it truly is. Like, it's making me tear up, actually. Like, just the beauty and the solidarity and the encouragement that we give each other. Because, even though I proselytize pessimism and all that, taking away meaning from so much, I think, we're still, unfortunately stuck here. So, like, let's try to make the best of it, and let's try to find some way of making our stories be heard for once. And, so many of you guys have been smart enough to find out ways of treating yourself, with cannabis, psilocybin mushrooms, ketamine, and so on, in ways that, physicians haven't been able to treat you by duping you into taking opioids and benzos like they did with me. And, I think that's amazing, and I think that takes real, willpower and cognition and self-awareness. So I really want to congratulate you guys, and I really, really want to say that for those of you who are currently suffering through withdrawal and stuff like that, like I am, I'm with you and I'm here for you. So never be shy about reaching out, because I will respond. I will always respond to you guys, because you guys are really being like the highlight of my existence over the last little while. So I just can't thank you enough. No. Anyways, love the shame.